Morning Mamas. I'm Kym Whitley.
And I'm Sherri Shepherd.
Now, see how you took that old pause? I don't know what the pause was for, but when I say, hey, I'm Kym Whitley, you're supposed to jump in. But you check,
And I'm
what are you
Sherri
doing?
Shepherd. I wait a little bit. It's just a
Why, you
pause
think
in
it's a
case.
delay? Okay.
No, somebody might be stopping at a red light and somebody might honk. So it's a pause.
Oh, look at you. Oh, my
Yeah.
God. Well, you
We
know
do
what,
have
y'all, thank you. Thank you for joining us for what podcast? I don't know, number 7, number 8, but we're on a roll
this is
here.
number 8.
It's number 8, and we're gonna have a good time. We are financing this, ourselves. So make sure you subscribe on your YouTube or go to iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts and tell all your friends. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. So what's been going on with you, Sherri Shepherd?
I'm a little bit. This is very different for me because you're actually going to lead
I,
this podcast this week, and I'm gonna follow your lead. So it's and try not to
why do
take
I
over.
have to leave? Who did you talk to? John Murray? Who'd you talk to? Sybil? Somebody was like, see if Kym could lead it. And if she doesn't, you call in one of your other girls. Get Niecy, get Lonnie. Kym can't roll with you. Who you talk to? Why I got to lead it?
Well, number one, you'll never lose your job because I've been after you for 3 years to do this. So you will never,
Yes.
the job is not going to be lost. But I read all of the comments. I go through and I love, that's why I ask the listeners and the viewers to leave comments because I read all of the comments and, as I can, I try to respond. And we got we have some, comments that we're giving away some merchandise too. So I don't know. You tell me when you want me to read those winners. But a couple of the comments said, why does Sherri dominate the conversation? Why doesn't she let Kym talk? I want to hear Kym.
What?
And you don't ever say to me, I won't oblige. So you will lead this and I give you, and you have free reign.
But this is what the problem is. You are getting it confused between let Kym say something to let Kym talk, let Kym lead. Nobody said let Kym lead. All they said was let Kym talk every now and then. That's all they said.
Okay, well, if that's the case,
And
then
first
you
of
don't
all,
need.
it was 1,000 comments, and 2 people said something, and you done took the 2 little people to heart and ran with it.
I ran with the 2 people out of the 998 comments. And it's good because sometimes, see, I'm used to doing it like The View. I've won an Emmy for talking. So I just do it. I tend to do it. But I think it's good practice for you to always to take the lead. So with that, take the
So you don't
lead.
just throw the Emmy, you just gonna throw the Emmy up in my face like that, huh?
Well,
I
that's what I
was
got it
Emmy
for.
nominated, not for talking, but
For what?
acting.
Okay.
For
All right.
yes, I got an Emmy nomination. I just didn't win that year.
Okay. Well, let's act the podcast. Act.
I'm not acting the podcast. I don't like your tone or your attitude. So I can lead. We can talk about how you doing. It looks like the numbers are going up. What do you think about that? Are we going to go get back on lockdown? What about that?
Oh, I'm very depressed about that, Kym. I really didn't even want to go there. It looks like we're in the second wave of COVID-19. And I think everybody just reopened too soon. We talked about that, you and I. Everybody
Yeah,
they
I don't
opened
even
up
think it's the second.
bars.
But I don't think it's the second wave, Sherri. I don't mean to interrupt
Okay.
you. I think
No,
this,
go
like,
ahead.
the numbers are just going up, like you said. I don't think it's the second wave yet.
Oh, wow. You just think that they reopened too soon. Everybody reopened too soon.
Absolutely agree with you. I think the second wave they're talking about was in the fall. I
Oh, in
think,
the fall.
yeah, they opened up too soon. The protests, Trump and his people, saying, not really caring. And I really think that's where we're in for bigger numbers than what we had before.
So now we have to, because everything opened too fast, we have to now go into another self quarantine. They were out here in LA, they were opening up bars and restaurants and the mall open, the beach is open. And now Governor Newsom is saying we got to stay in. I just was telling Jeffrey that I would try to call and see if I could do a play date, kind of social distancing. Now with
Mm-hmm.
this thing happening, because it has spiked so much over in Texas and Florida, LA. I told Jeffrey, I said, we got to stay in. And he goes, Ma, we've been staying in since like January. So to Jeffrey, it's the same thing. And it's just a little depressing because it's just depressing. I'm in, and now even thinking about, I wonder if he's going to be able to go to school, because I'm going to let you know right now, this vaccine thing is scaring me, because all I keep thinking in my head is Tuskegee experiment. And most of you, I think, who listen to us know about Tuskegee. You explain it, Kym. You went to Fisk.
No. You're stupid. Me going to Fisk has nothing to do with the Tuskegee Airmen experiment. But
you went to college.
What we do know is back in the I don't know if it was the 50s or where it was, but what we do know is that there were an experiment for syphilis. And what happened was they took a group of men from Tuskegee and injected them with syphilis to see how it works, to see what kind of vaccine they can work with. And this was without them knowing that. It ain't like they was like, oh yeah, let me give me that new syphilis. You know, I'm just
give
saying.
Me that new syphilis.
The new syphilis, not the old syphilis. So I think what you're saying, Sherri, is you are fearful about that.
What I'm saying, I don't trust the government, because first of all, with Tuskegee, they injected Black men with syphilis and they didn't know it because they were in experiment. You also have a government, Kym, that is saying, don't test as much, then you won't get all of these bad results. You also have the European countries are barring the Americans from coming into their countries because they feel we don't have a handle on COVID. And it all leads back to the president. It's amazing to me that he could give an address. Was it in Arizona, Kym? I'm not sure where it was. He gave that
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. He gives an address. 8 of his staff members get COVID. 4 of his Secret Service men get COVID, and him and his vice president still are not wearing a mask. I'm inclined to think they gave it to them. And so you got this. Does anybody wondering if the president and the vice president is giving everybody around them COVID? Don't blame it on Stevie Wonder. Blame it on the president. Well, that's what I'm just saying, allegedly.
Wait. Why did you say don't? Wait a minute.
I know.
Why did you say don't blame it on Stevie Wonder? Did someone say Stevie was giving it?
I combined 2 stories. Somebody said all these old R&B legends are passing away, and it was Stevie Wonder because he's still here. Bad joke, but that was a joke that was going around, and I combined it.
I didn't know that.
It was a bad joke. Please forgive me.
I didn't. Okay.
Yeah, that's your friend. So I didn't mean it that way.
That is my friend. That's right. But I did see him on social media, so I didn't know if he had said something. And let me clear everything up. This was a Tuskegee Airmen Tuskegee. I don't think it was the Airmen. We keep mixing them up. It's not the Tuskegee Airmen flew over to the war and saved.
That's what I told you. That's why I said you do.
It's called the Tuskegee. I want to say just like I'm gonna mess up that. Lord, and now I didn't got it up. Tuskegee experiment. It was in 1932, and they were injecting Black men with syphilis to see what untreated syphilis would do.
Okay, so I was the one that said
again in 1972.
They did it again in 72?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, that was me. Again, I apologize because I've been saying the Tuskegee Airmen.
I don't know how
That's why I said you graduated from Fisk, you do it. But it goes back to, after the bad joke about Stevie Wonder, it goes back to, I just don't trust the government, because somebody told me that they're giving, and this might be alleged, I don't know if this is real, Kym, have you heard it? That they're giving experimental injections of a vaccine for COVID in Africa. Have you heard that?
What?
Okay,
this is the thing. I have not heard that, but do I believe it? I could, yes. Especially if they're handing out money and stuff. You know, you tell people we're gonna do a little testing, and then I
just have a feeling that if they come up with a vaccine, and I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong, I just have a feeling that when they come up with the vaccine, they're going to be going into the neighborhoods that are not as economically faring as well, which is the Black and brown neighborhoods. And I don't trust the government, but I also know that my son is not going to be able to go to school unless he has the vaccine. So I'm over here in a conundrum, and it's depressing to me, and I don't know what to do.
No, you might be right, because the Tuskegee, what I do remember is the Tuskegee experiment. The men were told that they were given free health care from the government, but instead they gave them a little shot. They were, yep.
So I just, so
So
we'll have
that's how
to,
they
we'll
took
have
them.
to,
Why does my thing keep beeping? I'm sorry.
well, maybe you should put on do not disturb on your
I
phone,
did.
because we are doing a
Sorry.
podcast.
Okay.
And I can feel myself taking over again. So I'm going to let, okay.
No.
All right then.
It's a lot. I don't know why he's in here. I don't know how this happened. Joshua,
You know how it happened.
We're doing our podcast, honey. Do you know why you're in here or anything? Any reason? That I love you. Was that a mommy's love hug? I love you, baby. As soon as I'm finished with Auntie Sherri, I'll be there with you.
Okay. All right.
He just making sure I'm busy, so he could probably go look at that little nasty magazine with Lunel in it.
That was Playboy or Playgirl.
No, Penthouse. The worst,
Penthouse.
That one really. And I pulled it out. I had it out, and he saw it, and he looked and he saw her butt, and it was. But that's a whole nother conversation for another day. So I am worried about this. What they call it, the vaccination, because vaccines, except for I think we did have a vaccine that came out really quickly, not for the flu, but maybe for something else, Zika or something. But they're going to have to try it on people. They're going to have to try it on humans. There are going to be some lives lost. There are going to be some things changed, because they're not going to know. It really takes 10 to 20 years to really figure out what happens to the human body with all of this.
Well, I just would like them to try out the vaccine on people in affluent areas first, is all I'm saying. And by affluent, mostly Caucasians are in the affluent neighborhoods. And I want to see, as you're talking about, it's going to be some deaths and there's going to be some casualties. I want to see the affluent people, how they take the vaccine in their bodies, what it does to them, before my cousin Janika over in Chicago on the South Side takes it.
Right.
Am I
Don't
wrong?
go to Detroit talking about we got this vaccine.
Yeah. Don't be over in Flint, Michigan talking about we got the vaccine. And I want you to go to Newport Beach. I want you to go to the very rich areas in Texas where you got all those electoral votes.
So you're not going to take the vaccine. So wait, I just remembered something. So while you're talking about this, while we're opening up, while they're getting more, and it's not about more testing, it's just that people are getting sick and it's getting closer and closer to home. We're knowing more people. I go out for the first time, Sherri Shepherd, for the first time in 4 months, I go to a public place.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I went to the restaurant. I went in there and I went to meet an ex's daughter for her birthday. I was obligated, wanted to see the little girl. I mean, she's 28. But let me tell you something. I had a panic attack in there. I had a straight up panic attack. Now, they don't have any wait staff. Now they've changed. You got to order your food, then you sit down. They got plexiglass. But a friend of mine who was with me took his mask off. He gonna stand up, go talk to the people across, and I freaked out. I know he was like, "You ain't my mama." They all were like, you treated us all like your kids. I did. I lost it. I said, I jumped up and I did this. I said, "What's wrong with you?" I said, "Put your mask on." The whole restaurant looked at me. And then I couldn't stop shaking. I was like, I ain't supposed to be out. I'm not supposed to be out.
Wow.
Auntie ain't supposed to be out. They were like, calm down. Yeah, I called him and I apologized. I said, "I'm sorry, I almost cussed you out." I said, because he does a lot of videos for me and he shoots for me, so he's in my house.
Yeah, I mean, people who are coming out to restaurants really don't want to see a person screaming, "Put your mask on," and rocking back and forth having a panic attack, because they feel like if you're going to do all that, stay your behind at home. We're over here venturing out and we want to have a good time. We don't want old auntie over here screaming. That's why we didn't march, because that's exactly what you would have been doing, bringing everybody down. People be screaming no justice, no peace, and you be screaming put your mask on, put your mask on. You are a downer. I'm just got to tell you that.
I'm a downer
because you had a panic attack and you messed up everybody's day. Yes, you need to stay home, but then I'm worried about you because the more you stay home, the more fearful you get.
I do. It's too much. Oh Lord have mercy. All my I apologize. Things are going crazy over here.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
So we'll have to see how this plays out. Being back in, I'm very sorry you had a panic attack at the restaurant. Because eventually, Kym, you and I have to go back to work. Like, we have to pay bills, and the savings is dipping low. But
yes.
So I think that's something you're going to have to talk to your therapist about, because you are going to have to go back out without the full hazmat, abominable snowman suit on. You're going to have to find some kind of way. And I don't know how to, aside from praying with you, I don't know how to get you to not have a panic attack.
No. Okay. You're right. You're right. I appreciate your advice. I love you dearly, but I will have to say this. I want the world to know, and I want you to know, that D.L. Hughley responded to my tweet, and I just want to throw this in your face.
Well, can I tell the audience? Can I just set it up?
Okay. Yeah, set it up.
Because we can't assume that the same people who are listening now heard us last week. Hopefully they did. But D.L. Hughley, who is quarantining now because he found out that he has COVID-19, he was at the Zanies Comedy Club in Nashville last week, and he passed out, and they had to carry him off the comedy stage. And then he found out that he has COVID. His son Kyle has COVID. His writer Jeff Brown has COVID-19. So many people have COVID-19. So he, we reached out to him, both Kym and I. She had 4 phone numbers. She texted DL. She got no response. I tweeted DL, and he tweeted me back and said, "Hey, cutie, Kym got nothing." So she was really, watch the podcast from last week. She was really in her feelings and upset. And we both put the particular clip out on our Instagram because we knew that DL would see it. So you're saying DL actually got back to you?
On the Twitter, he didn't hit none of my phones, none of them, none of my phone numbers. But on the Twitter, he hit me back, but he said, "Thank you, beautiful." Now, beautiful definitely outranks cute. I'm just gonna say, beautiful is grown. Cute, you call a puppy cute. He said, "Thank you, beautiful." That's all I'm gonna say. We ain't got to go no further. We can move on to the next subject. That's all. I just want to throw that in. I need you to understand. No.
I don't want to move on because I got a little bit of a problem. I'm not a dog, and I don't like to be called a dog. So I don't like the fact that DL tweeted me back and said, "Hey, dog."
He didn't say, "Hey, dog."
He said, "Hey, cutie."
He said, "Cutie."
And you said,
"Thank you, beautiful," to me.
And you said cutie is what you call a dog. So therefore, you did call me a dog.
A dog, a puppy.
You said DL called me a dog puppy.
A clown. Huh?
A clown.
No, I mean, these are just things. Oh, that's so cute. A flower, a toy. Oh, look at that. That's so cute. A funny looking toenail, Oh, that's kind of cute.
You saying DL called me a funny looking toenail? Hey, funny looking toenail?
Possibly. Funny little toenail with a little cute little wig on. Yeah, maybe.
All right, so I'm gonna tweet out DL, and I'm gonna ask him to not call me a funny little dog and a funny little toenail. I am gonna ask him if he could not do that. I don't want to get him into. I don't want to get him distracted by always calling us.
Right, you're right.
I am in my feelings a little bit about being called a funny looking toenail because I've never gotten that before. Not even from exes. Which thank you, DL, for tweeting Kym back. I will say that before I tweet you.
Thank you. We're both very happy about that. Go ahead. I am
happy. I
got some questions for you today.
I know you do. I got this crazy looking wig on. This is the cheapest wig. I'm so sorry because I was out looking for a place to live because I got to be out of this place in October. But this wig, Kym, I'm so embarrassed and humiliated because this is a wig. You know, on Instagram, how you buy these wigs, they're like, $19.99. Well, I bought one. If you buy like 3 of them, they give them to you for $17.99. So I bought it,
Oh,
and it's real pretty. It's got the curls, and I got a little headband
yeah.
on it. Real pretty. But what I didn't realize when I went out looking for a place to stay, and I got a cute little sundress on, it's all cute, and the sundress is short. So I thought I was making a statement, and I turned around, and my friend, who's taller than me, he looks down and he goes, "Oh my gosh, your wig looks horrible." That's what he said. And because it's so cheap, all like the little tracks that they sew, there's no hair back here. The wig is
Oh my
bald.
God. So
The
you were
wig
walking
is
around.
bald. Huh?
So people, when you came into the house and people saw you, they're like, "Oh, she's so cute." But when you left, they was like, "Oh God."
Yeah, when I turned around, it's all bald back here. I didn't know
You
that.
got
It was
mange. They probably thought you got mange. You ain't gonna get none of those houses. They think you
I'm
got the
so
mange.
I'm humiliated. Like, you can feel all of the tracks. Like, what I put on right here, it's great. But back here, it's just bald. I'm bald headed.
Imagine if a
Oh,
man, that ain't bad. What if a man, you say you with a man and he trying to kiss you and he grabbed that back of that and he feel all the mange and the tracks? Yeah,
that would be
that would have been
terrible.
bad. He'd have been like, "What is this, a basket?" Yeah, he thought you got a
Yeah,
basket on your head. You weaving a basket.
it's so
But I
terrible.
mean,
I
that's,
just
you know
had
what? I'm gonna write that question down for our next podcast. When you're dating a man, is it okay to let them know you're wearing a wig? And if it's a $19.99 wig, you can pull it off. But if it's $1,000 wig, don't you touch it. Okay, that's for the
don't
next
you touch it. I just had
podcast.
to say that because I know the hair look crazy and it's all Shaka Khan-ish.
No, you look cute. But I have this is a thing I've been talking to my friends about and talking to you about. And I just never really asked you this question.
Mm-hmm.
And this week is, I've been thinking a lot about love. And
Why?
why? Because I'd like
Yeah.
love in my life, Sherri Shepherd. You've
Yeah.
had love several times and been down the aisle.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And love has
So
made
I'm
me
going to
broke.
ask you, Sherri, have you ever dated someone and they appear to be head over heels in love with you and then ghosted? Gone. You don't hear from them, or they just, has that ever happened to you?
Girl, yes.
Okay.
It's so funny because there was someone I really, really liked,
Uh-huh.
and we got along very well. We had the same goals in life. He seemed to adore me
Hmm.
and really, truly financially independent. When he came to town, when I lived in New York, he took care of me. Um, I never had to go in my wallet for anything. And then he just up and disappeared. When I say he
Oh,
just disappeared, like, didn't call me back, just ghosted. It was, I called and left messages like, "Hey, how's it going? What's going on?" Like, this is a man who wouldn't stop calling me. Like, called me at the View, you know, left messages, sent cards. So when he ghosted me, I just was like, did I do something? Did something happen?
had you
And
bathed?
had I what?
Um, had you bathed? Did you smell all right? Because they will
Did
ghost you
you
if you stinking. Huh?
did you ask me if I had taken a bath?
I just, men, they nose, they nose funny.
No, it
Okay.
wasn't that. Yes, I bathe on
I,
a regular. Yes, I
okay.
floss and brush my teeth on a regular. So it wasn't
Okay.
that.
So how long had you dated him? Just give me that. How long had you seen him?
We hadn't really he was courting me. That's what I thought it was. He was courting me. And
He was courting.
he told me
She used
that
that
I
1950
was the
word,
type of
courting.
woman that he would want to make. What are you saying?
I'm sorry. You said courting. That's what your mama would say. Courting. Just courting. For the
Because
young people out there, courting means dating. I just want to get to people. That's
but
like
it's something
saying,
it's a
where's my album? Okay, I'm sorry, Jerry. That's a serious
courting is
topic.
a courting is a different word than dating. Courting really truly means he was pursuing me. Is what I want to
Okay.
say. He was pursuing me. And everything that I had, because let's face it, when I was co-host on The View, I made a lot of money. He had more. So it didn't bother him, to come into, I lived in the Trump building, and you had to go through 4 or 5, doormen and people at the front desk before you even got to my apartment. And that didn't bother him. So I was very, very, he literally, did he say he loved me? I don't think he said he loved me, but I think it was close. So when he ghosted me, it was really shocking.
Yeah, I've had that kind of experience.
You have?
But I deserved it. It's different when you kind of feel like you was probably out of control, and then they just kind of like change their number. I was me, just me, young, on TV, working hard, all into my career, and Valentine's Day, he said, let's get together at 2. I showed up at 11 p.m. at night.
What?
Because I had...
You showed up 9 hours late?
Hey, I was getting hair and makeup. I had to go shoot something for BET.
You didn't tell him?
I did, but I didn't have to. It wasn't like a must. It was, and then I'm bad with time. Okay.
No, that's not bad. That means you didn't care. That's what that meant.
Care, but I was trying to get mine, and the same thing. He was a big rapper, and he had his. Let me have mine. So I felt, I don't want to talk about it right now. That's a trigger for me.
You kind of don't get to bring it up on the podcast and then go, I don't want to talk about it. This is a show where we talk. So if you bring up something, you have to talk about it.
Okay, what I want to talk about is what the topic really for the rest of the podcast is when I love you doesn't mean I love you. And I have a guest here today that can help us with these questions. Me and you can revisit this all the time. I can come over to the house. You can give me some muffins because I ain't talking about it in public, and you ain't getting no names unless you make me some muffins. Tell you about my heartbreak on TV or YouTube or iTunes or wherever we on. I'm not doing
it. So you're not going
to talk about this. When I love you really doesn't mean I love you.
So this is really interesting because this is the very first time that we will have had a guest, because people are asking now, our listeners and our viewers, can we have different guests on to talk about different things, which we're very open to. So this is very exciting because this is a personal friend of yours.
This is a personal friend of mine. He is, I mean, he's a friend. He's handsome. He's funny. He's smart. He's all that. But I felt that what he does is he helps me and my girlfriends a lot. We listen to him. He got a book out. Relationships. Well, let me give him a real introduction. Okay. Single empowerment and relationship coach, author, entrepreneur, and radio host, C. Reggie Rodgers, where you get dating from an expanded and conscious perspective. That's a deep introduction. Everybody give it up to my friend, Mr. C. Reggie Rodgers. Come on in to our podcast, sir.
Hey, what's up, Kym?
How are you? That's Sherri. Come on in.
Sherri, what's happening? How are you?
Hi, Reggie. How are you? I love you.
Sherri, you look amazing.
Thank you. I said I love you.
Look at that smile. You look so awesome, Sherri. I love that smile.
Thank you. I said I love you twice, and he's ignored me. So maybe that's
listen, I'm sorry. I was so inundated with your smile. Listen, it's reciprocated back to you 100-fold.
Thank you. I'm just playing with you. This is really exciting. Welcome to the Two Funny Mamas podcast, Reggie. And this is exciting because you are our very first guest. We've never had a guest on our show. So this is really, and Kym kept talking about you, and she said we have to have Reggie on. So I'm excited that you're here to talk about what, love and all of that, relationships.
Right. Well, the first thing I guess I want to ask him is, why did Sherri's guy ghost her? Like, what do you feel? They had all this, he was courting her at the View, and then boom, nothing. What do you think on that?
I mean, I think there's a could be a plethora of reasons, but one that stands out is the fact that a lot of times we give our best presentation on the front end. And when it's hard to keep up with that presentation on the back end, you're going to soon be discovered. So he thought maybe he'd be discovered for who he may truly be, and he couldn't keep up with that presentation. So why not go without showing who I really am? I'll let you remember who you think I am.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Well, here's the thing, Reggie, because I take the words "I love you" very seriously, and I feel like when a man, I feel like a woman should never say "I love you" first. That it should be the man who says "I love you" first, because to me it seems like when a man says "I love you" first, he is really committed. Now you tell me if I'm wrong there.
Okay, so I don't believe that there is a right or wrong as it relates to who says it first, because love is a feeling, right?
Okay.
So when you start saying, I don't want to say it, I'm wait till he said, now you're turning the relationship into a game and a gimmick. I don't ever think that you should approach a relationship as a game or a gimmick. I think that you should always be transparent and genuine and authentic. And if you're feeling it, then why not say what you feel? Whether you get the same response or not, you're laying you on the line, so he has to respect you for who you are, and it gives him an opportunity to say, okay, she's all in. Now you can really see if he's all in or vice versa. But I don't think that there's a right or wrong as it relates to who says it first.
But what if he doesn't? So what, then do you feel obligated to say it back? Do you have to feel obligated?
No, you should never feel obligated, because I think obligation is when you're early and there's still that level of immature. But when you become settled and established and there's some maturity there, you don't feel obligated. No one can make you do or say anything that you don't feel or that you want to say. That's a mature person. Now, if you're still dealing with somebody who may be a little bit immature, they may feel obligated rather to say it back. But I don't think that you should ever get to a place where if you're not feeling it, then you should say, okay, listen, I totally respect that, and I'm flattered that you feel that way about me. But I just cannot say that back to you, because that's not what I'm feeling at this moment. Doesn't mean that I will never feel that way. At this moment, I don't. But that's dealing with somebody that's on a mature level too.
Are you saying that's our response? Wait, remember that, Sherri. So we should say, I appreciate what you're saying to me. I don't feel that way right now.
If you don't feel that way, you should just be honest. I'm telling you, I'm giving you a grid, but your grid is yours. It's all about being honest and genuine and sharing what you really feel. If you don't feel that, then share that.
But okay, all right.
Because even when we talk about dating and relationships, this is where I think a lot of people miss this, because dating has 5 aspects to it. There's 5 stages to dating.
Yes.
The first stage is there's a meet and greet. A meet and greet may take a couple of times. You may want to go out, ask all the pertinent questions that you need to ask to even see if there's what I call the C's, if there's some commonalities, if there's a connection, and if there's some chemistry. Now, most people think chemistry and connection are one and the same, but they're not. How many times have you said, or even you, Sherri, or you heard your girlfriend say, oh my God, we have such chemistry, right? But how many times have you said that about multiple people? So you can have chemistry with multiple people, but now let's change it. How many times have you said, oh my God, we have such a connection?
Oh, huh.
So then I'm not minimizing chemistry, but the point that I want you to get or to understand is chemistry to me becomes a byproduct if there's a real connection.
And
it
what's
becomes a byproduct. I'm sorry?
What is a connection?
A connection is when you can get through to see two. So I'm getting through the person to get to the person, to see through the person, to get the real key essence of who their character is, who they really are, so that my conscious connects with their consciousness and there's a deeper conscious connection. Because most people say, I want a soulmate. I don't. I'm not even looking for a soulmate. You know what I'm looking for? What? I'm looking for a twin flame. Because a twin flame becomes a mirror or reflective of who you really are, that's when you really have a connection. A soulmate is really someone on what we call a soulical level. A twin flame is somebody that you guys have connected in a whole nother realm, and the universe took you guys to a whole different places. But when you guys finally have come together, you went through everything you had to go through to finally get to that point and to that place where, oh my God, I have never felt like this before. Oh my God, I've even been here before. Because Sherri, you should know what he looks like, what he feels like, what he smells like, what he walks like, however you should know what his touch is, because in that whole other realm that we're talking about, see, you've already created him in your mind. Mm-hmm. Instead of focusing on, this is when Kym gave me the intro about an expanded conscious perspective. The expanded conscious perspective of dating is not focusing or concentrating on what's missing, but you focus and you concentrate on what you intend to create. So your intention is now focused on the attention of what you want to create, how you want them to walk, how you want them to look, how you want them to talk. So if you throw that out into the universe is a master choreographer. And the universe will then bring what you want. It's what's so popular now. It's called the law of attraction.
Mm-hmm. So you got to know in detail what you want, what he looks like. I know I was supposed to do that exercise, what he looks like, what he smells like, because if I think about the men that I have pulled into my life, that's because I wasn't detailed.
You typically pull who you are.
That ain't nice.
So become what you want. And this is the thing that I tell people all the time, because I think it's extremely important. The journey to love is never about finding the one. The journey to love is about becoming the one. So when you become it will come to you.
You understand that shit?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. I have to meditate on it. If you're, because we all want somebody who looks like Idris Elba or Chadwick, we're when you're saying specifically picture him in our mind, but also there's thing of the practical. There are some men that I would like, but I know I'm not in their lane. I know you would never.
Time out. Who said you weren't in their lane? And why would you even limit yourself?
Well, I just say this, like I can look at some black men and I can see you like white girls. So why am I can tell everything about you says you would date a white girl. I'm far from a white girl.
But that doesn't mean you're not in his lane. It just means that's not his preference. So if that's not his preference, then we know, but what's your preference? It's not about what he wants, it's about what you want. So maybe you want somebody that looks like him, but that's not his preference. But your preference is you pull exactly what you want based off of the wavelength and the synergy that you possess. You understand what I'm saying, Sherri?
Mm-mm. She got to pick what she wants. She got to be clear.
So it's really about clear, but I don't think that you should ever put a limitation on. Let's even go back to the guy that you said likes white women.
Right.
But you said that. Did he?
He never said that. I can just tell.
But that's your mind. See, where your energy goes is one of those things where your thinking goes is where the energy flows. So you're thinking that without even having that conversation.
Okay.
And then you never know that your energy may shift him. And then you guys create some great synergy. And it's what we call a synergistic movement, because that's two people synergistically involved.
So now you got what you want, and his white woman is going to be a side piece. Oh, shoot. Wait a minute. Okay, wait. Back on topic. If someone says, I love you, does it mean that we're going to be in a relationship? Like, does I love you mean marriage? When someone says, I love you, like if a man says, I love you, especially if you say it too soon, I get nervous. Like, what does it mean?
There are different levels to love. The Greeks taught love in 3 different levels, which you guys are probably very familiar with. There's a word that they use in Greek called eros, which is where we get our English word erotica.
Mm-hmm.
Eros in Greek is just a touchy-feely type of love. It's physical, right?
Good love.
Yeah, it's the physical love. But then they also have another type of love called philia or phileo,
Yeah.
which is where we get our English word Philadelphia, which is where I'm from. But everybody knows Philadelphia is the city of brotherly love.
Brotherly love.
So it's that, and if you're from Philly, you know Philly is a city of brotherly love and sisterly affection. So that's that, brotherly love, sisterly affection type of love. But then that other love that they teach is one that's very popular in the Christian world is called agape or agape.
Agape.
Yes.
Which is
Agape love.
Unconditional. So I think there's levels, and you have to kind of figure out when someone says, I love you, it goes back to what you said. Be very clear. Okay, you love me how? Let's have this let's communicate.
But wouldn't they be upset if you said this?
No.
We sitting there, we looking at each other, we done hooked up, been together for a while, and then all of a sudden, you're like, I love you, or I'm like,
Okay.
I love you. So now I'm gonna open up a conversation.
No,
what you mean? I love
the
you.
atmosphere and where you are is going to dictate why he's expressing it. You guys just did it, and you just
No,
came
I didn't say that.
Oh, that's what I thought you said. You just came out of a passionate session or something.
No,
Because he got caught up in the moment or something,
But okay, do you? If he says I love you, but y'all haven't slept together, is that a gateway to sex? There's a lot of questions in here.
Is it a gateway to sex by him saying he loves you?
Do men use that? I want to get Sherri straight.
No, I mean, I think that there are different situations where if the conversation has been it's been a sensual conversation, sexual conversation, when are we going to go there? When are we going to do it? And you just sense that in your mind, this is all that he wants. And he's kind of pecking at that, setting you up for that. Then I think that there is this thing inside of you that will click in and allow you to know, I don't know that. Because I think love is about, the question has been forever, does he lust me or does he love me? And
Right.
I think the way that you can kind of figure, I always say that love is about me. Lust is about me, but love is about we.
Okay.
Lust says me, love says we.
We.
Lust says me.
Because you're lusting, right?
Because lust has all to do with the desire of the eye.
Okay.
Lust and love has all to do with the desire of the heart.
So that says we.
Got you. So the lust is about me. Well, my problem is every time I remember my first husband, everybody says, slow down.
Okay.
They said, slow down. The moment he said he loved me, I was like, oh, we getting married. We're getting married. Because I don't know if I'm hearing this again. And that was not a good thing. So I think does love, when somebody says I love you, does that mean I do?
Is just your question? If somebody says I love you, does that mean I do?
Yes,
in terms
says,
of
I love you.
Walk down the aisle?
Yes.
Well, love is an action word. So with action, it's a verb. There has to be some consistency. You should see because love is not just about a word. It's about the action that goes along with the word. So does his actions consist of him showing you that he really loves you? Is it consistent? Is there some consistency there? Because, they say love is more than words. Love is action. Love is in action. So what is he showing you that says he loves you, or is it just mere words?
Right. Like if you order a pizza and they're supposed to bring it to you that you've been waiting for days, and then they don't bring the pizza. Does that mean they care less about you? I'm just wondering. Love is an action word.
No, but love, I tell people, and I tell women in particularly all the time, that you got to look for consistency, because we can say a lot of things, but now does our actions line up with our words? And it could go vice versa. You guys can say a lot of things, but one of the things that you guys are blessed with through nature is women have something that men will never have, and that's why when you always hear a woman is described with sex appeal. You guys have this sex appeal, but inside of you, there's this thing called what we call a glory producer. Women have that. What is it?
What is a glory producer?
Good question. I'm so glad you guys asked.
The glory. I know what a glory hole.
No, but
that's what I was thinking, Kym.
You wanted to say that, didn't you, Sherri?
I did. I was thinking the same thing.
Yes. It's probably akin to the glory producer. They're probably close. Right. But no, a glory producer is simply you guys have the ability through your words to help a man fulfill his destiny. And so you have the ability to be this cheerleader on the sideline to root for your man, and that's producing the glory to tell his story in the man, so that you've been given that by design, by nature. See, what we are warriors. Now, if you go back to history, and you'll find that a man doesn't want to be loved. A man wants to be appreciated. A woman wants to be loved.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Ooh. Ooh. Whoa. Wait, say that one more time.
A man doesn't want to be loved. A man wants to be appreciated, but a woman wants to be loved. So that's what I'm telling you. You guys have this thing where you can produce it. We just want to be appreciated. I see you, honey. I see you out there doing your thing. Just keep doing what you're doing. You see, you think we want to be loved. We don't. We know you want to be loved, but we want to be appreciated.
Wow.
This is why a man talks about you don't respect me. You don't respect me. Is kind of wow, that's pretty deep. A woman wants to be loved, but a man wants to be appreciated. So what is it that how can I show a man that I love him or appreciate? Because I think that's probably the problem that I have, Reggie, is I got what I got. So a lot of times if you bringing stuff to me, I don't get impressed by a lot of stuff, and I think that the things you do, you should be doing. So do I have to validate you for everything that you're doing?
No, I'm not going to say you have to validate everything that we're doing, but just show some appreciation and let them know. Like I just did a video a little while ago, but I was saying that another thing that a man loves is, a man wants to hear truth from you. Well, what does that mean? A man wants to hear you say, because especially if you're dealing with a high-powered man who's used to everybody saying, yes, 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 absolutely, positive, because we're ego-driven. Mm-hmm. But if he's got a woman that can keep it real and say, you know what, share something with you. I think you're good at what you do, but you could probably do it a little better. Now, that's not underappreciating him. That's allowing him to know that you care about him so much so that you're willing to share some things with him that's going to even help what he does now go to the next level.
Okay.
So interesting.
And that is very interesting. But then go ahead, Sherri. You got questions? Because I could talk to you.
It's so funny. I know this. There was a guy that I was dating, and he had the hardest time showing love. And he said it's because his mother never told him that she loved him. So he had a very hard. So he was very emotionally unavailable. If I sent him a picture, he'd send the thumbs up. It was hard for him to go, you look so pretty. You look sexy. Right. I would say to him all the time, you look great. Like I could tell you're working out, you look, and he like a peacock, but it was hard for him to give that back. It was hard for him to touch. It was hard for him. It just was hard, emotional. And I'm a person, affection, words of affirmation. What do you think about that? So gosh, even saying I love you, forget it.
Well, I think, you having the understanding that women are emotionally driven. That's how you guys are driven by your emotions. Men are ego driven. So you already start off, there's a gap between you're coming in with your emotions and you're going to lay your emotions on the line. He's not. He's going to hide his emotions because his ego is going to always rise up and say that if I if I show too much of my emotions, it's going to take away from my mentality and being a man. So what he wants is, if you just stay consistent, Sherri, and you continue to just be authentic, if you stay consistent and you continue to be trustworthy, over a period of time, a man wants to know that he can trust his girl and she's trustworthy, she's authentic. And then you'll start just naturally see his guard come down naturally. Because there's a lot of videos out how to make a man love you. You can't make a man do anything. But how do you get to a man? How do you get to a place where you can get a man to love you organic and naturally? So that's a natural flow. It's just a natural organic flow by you being your true self. And again, that's you showing transparency, authenticity, and being trustworthy. And then over a period of time, a man will take that, and that validates what we talked about, you showing appreciation. And you'll see his guard begin to come down. Sherri, I see you thinking like, I got all these thoughts coming. I see them all over here.
No,
But can I say something to you? I detect where you come from. You come from a really good place. Your spirit is a really good place, right? So in your relationships, I can see you going all in, and I can see you doing a lot on the front end, going all in, because that's your personality. So what I would say is, I don't want to ever take away from your personality, because you are who you are. But what I would say to you is begin to pace yourself.
Oh,
Wow. And
that's so funny, because all my friends always go, slow down. And I go, I am slowing down. We're talking on the phone 6 hours a day, and I'm finding out, and then I just want to help them. And so that's so funny that you say, pace myself.
Wow.
You have that personality, and your personality, Sherri, for a guy is one that would be, and I don't want to, frighten you, but your personality for a guy would be easy for a guy to abuse. So I'm saying you got to pace yourself. So let me give you the 5 stages of dating, because I started it, and I really think this will help you a lot. The first stage is meet and greet. Meet and greet, again, is just for you to detect, so you could discover if there's any commonality, if there's any connection, and if there's any chemistry, and if it even warrants you wanting to go out on a date. Now, in your meet and greet stage, it may take you 2 to 3 stages. That may not be a one-time deal. It may take you 2 to 3 stages. But in this stage, you want to just ask the pertinent questions, because if you or I or Kym were to go on an interview, the whole purpose of the interview is for the interviewer to see if I'm a fit for the position. So they already know how to ask the right questions and see if I'm a fit for the position. Now, if I'm not a fit, they may even end up saying, hey, listen, although you possess a lot of great qualities, it's just not what we're looking for this position. But I'm sure you're going to probably find a great company to work for. But just this company, we're looking for something different. I can't take it personal. Right. They know what they're looking for. It's a fit.
That's what we should be doing, right?
Listen, on that meet and greet, time is our biggest commodity. We don't have time to go back and get. So therefore, we don't have a whole lot of time at our stage in life to be wasting anymore either. Right? Yeah. All right, So we go from the meet and greet. If it warrants you going to the next step, now you're the dating step. See, most people start off dating. You didn't even get to find out if it even warrants a date first. So we go meet and greet, then we go to the dating aspect. Now, the third stage of the stage is what we call independence versus interdependence. What? You've been independent so long. You've been independent so long. Now you want to try to mesh this into a relationship. How do we mesh being my independence and still establishing some interdependence? So I want to bring my level of, I still want to keep my some independence, but I also want to show him that we can work as a team too. So that's when you can see a lot of insecurities. Because if he's going out with his guys, do you have an issue? Or if you're going out with your girls, does he have an issue? So that's understanding how do we get through the independence, interdependence, and make that work. And then that fourth stage is now, because we're seeing the issues, we get to that fourth stage, which is called differences. That's the differences stage. All these differences are really, we're starting to detect and discover, wow, we got some major differences. But can we work through these differences as two mature adults? And are these differences so much so that they're going to break us? Or are these differences one that they'll make us, we can work through them? See, that's a make or break stage.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So now, once we get through those four stages, the fifth stage is really now, it's a happy and wholesome relationship stage. Because you've gone through all of that to really mature the relationship. Because if we can get through those differences and we can work through those differences like mature adults, then we got something, we can work it.
And then we're at I love you, right?
That could come in there,
in between,
in the middle somewhere. It could happen in the middle. But again, you guys are stuck on this I love you.
Well, no, that was only because that's what my title was today. The subject was, but I love you. You have so much to give. But you know what? I know we could be on here all day asking you questions. You have a book and you have a workbook. Can you tell?
Yeah, I was going to tell Sherri, one of the things in my workbook, Sherri, you guys were talking about I love you. I make a bold statement in my book in chapter 1. I talk about marry is really not the reason to love is really not the reason to marry. And I know people look at me like, what the? Love is really not, because we're in a modern day. And how many times people have gotten married and say they love. So what happened? Where'd the love go? It just dissipated?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
But because you guys, oh my God, I love you so much. So all these divorces, our national divorce rate is like 50%. So what's happening with all this love? So now I'm telling you, basically, you ask me a question. So I say, love is really not the reason to marry. Love is in it, but it's not the reason. So then people say, so what's the reason? Well, the reason for marriage is knowing that you have selected the right person that the universe has chosen for your life. I also want to say, Sherri, women should never find him. He should find you.
You must explain. And I know where love went. Rolls Royce said, love don't live here anymore. You know that? You abandoned me. Love don't live here
anymore.
Okay.
We telling our age on that one, Sherri.
All right, I love that one.
But
we are. But what does that mean? No, you no. You can't leave yet.
You can't.
You stay. She don't want you to, she wants to the reason why I want you to expound on that is because so many people nowadays feel like, if I find him, that's great. I want you to explain what you mean by he should find you. And how does that happen?
Okay, so he should find you because I hate to use it as a pecking order, but everything in life has an order. And the order is the man should find you. Well, we go off of an old adage, old proverbs that says he who finds a wife finds a good thing. So if he finds you, what he's finding is a good thing. But there's 3 things that you should do as a woman once he finds you. It's my job to find you, Sherri, but it's your job to do 3 things. 1, be ready. Ready means
I gotta clean this house up. Okay.
Be ready. Ready means you got all the excess baggage out the way. You're not coming in trying to get over somebody else. You're clear on what it is you want. You're ready.
You're not a rebound. It's not a rebound situation.
That's a whole nother situation.
Oh God. Okay.
So 1 is you're ready. 2, you should know how to recognize. Recognition is you've already created him, what he should feel like. Remember we talked about what he should look like, all of that. You created him already in your mind. So it's almost like a deja vu. So when the universe allows you your cross to have this encounter, it's like, damn, I've been here before.
Wow.
It's like a deja vu. So you got to know how to recognize. But here's the 3rd R. This is the hardest for most people is be ready, know how to recognize. But number 3 is know how to receive. That's hard.
Yeah.
You don't know how to receive. Now, let me give you 2 R's that'll mess up the first 3 R's. You hit on it. The 2 R's that'll mess up the first 3 R's is rebounding.
Oh.
Rebounding is what they call impulsive dating. Is short-lived and it typically doesn't work. And then the other R is return dating. Return dating is going back to something you're familiar with because you're comfortable with it. So you return back to something that you feel like you know, but you forgot. If it didn't work the first time, you guys had issues the first time. What makes you think it's going to work the second time? You had major issues the first time. How quickly do you forget?
Wait. What if you worked on yourself and they worked on themselves, or they both had counseling or something? I don't know.
That could happen if you guys have both worked on you, but you will quickly discover. See, return dating is all about typically comfortability without accountability, because we would much rather be comfortable and not always accountable.
Yep.
Ooh-wee.
Said that. We got work to do.
I have so much work to do because I'm not ready. He's not going to find me yet.
Here, now look at his book.
So anyway,
it's the camera.
Can you put it up?
Okay.
Love at First Spirit is all really about getting you to the place of, we've heard of love at first sight. We've heard of lust at first sight. I'm introducing a new concept called love at first spirit. When spirit meets spirit, there's a connection. This is what we're trying to get you to, so that you see through someone to get to someone, so that you can also have something to back that up. I created a 21-day challenge for you ladies. It's a 21-day challenge, Love at First Spirit. It's a workbook challenge.
Yeah,
so you got 21 days, and in these 21 days, we do what we call a prep challenge, a pep challenge, and then a step challenge. The step challenge is you starting to walk it out. That's the last stage. Woo. So I prep you for it, then I pep you through it, and then you start stepping, you start walking it out. That's the step challenge. So it takes you from lust at first sight to love at first sight to getting you to the ultimate place of understanding love at first spirit. Now we're going to go back, Sherri, and strip some layers off so that the first guy you ever dated, what did you feel? Because I want you to go back so you can get an understanding of why do you keep picking the same guys and the same type of guy, just maybe dressed differently. Yep. We want you to get an understanding so you know now what becomes a fit for you.
So see? So the book is called Love at First Spirit, and the workbook is called 21-Day Challenge Love at First Spirit by Reggie, Regi Rodgers. Y'all see that? And how can they get the book?
You can go to www.CRegiRodgers.com. CReggieRodgers.com.
And that's how you can get the book. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Been my pleasure.
Thank you. That was so amazing what you said. I wrote down a lot. I have a lot of notes, but I'm going to get the book and the workbook so I can apply it.
Yes.
Oh, you got one coming. Don't worry, I got you.
Oh, yeah.
It's all yours. I got you.
I forgot.
Come on, Sherri, you family now. I got you.
She does.
Thank you. I can't wait.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Good. I'll meet you in the kitchen.
I love how your guest, that's your green room is the kitchen.
Right. I was like, I'll meet you in the kitchen. Have some soup. Enjoy yourself.
Wow. That was really, really awesome, Kym. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was good talking to him, and
because I don't do these steps, so it definitely is. I need to sit down, and the be ready part really hit me because we talk about this. You know, I have to get more organized in my house, and because if
be ready, that's what. Yes, are you ready? Like, are you? No. What do you say? Are you the flame? Like, I don't feel like I'm ready because I don't think I'm the flame. I'm not, like you just said, get your house ready. We're not ready. I don't feel like I'm ready.
And right now I'm too lazy to be ready because I'm tired. So, I mean, just right at this moment, but that is definitely something to put into practice of how am I getting myself ready for a relationship? Because I keep saying all the time, I'm too busy. I'm tired. I'm too busy. I got so much stuff to do. But how important is it? How important is it? And I'm glad that he got to
It's,
find me because I'm too tired to be going out trying to find somebody.
wait
I
a
should
minute,
have
but
asked him. Does that mean
you
I should
gotta.
get off these dating sites?
Oh, daggone! We should have asked him that, but no, 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 because you have to be in position. Look, I feel like I'm him for him to find you. This is a new day, just like he said. It's a new. I'm not answering for him, but I think that this is a new day. Like one of my aha moments. Let's just go with the aha moment.
Yeah.
I saw that you had some. The biggest aha moment was to be ready for him,
Hmm.
and let him find me.
Right.
The thing is, I can't sit in my house unless it's going to be the UPS man or the Amazon man, because that's
Right.
all that's coming over here. We got to
Right.
also make ourselves available,
Right.
but be ready. What did
But
you
be
have any
ready.
aha moments or anything that really
You mean when he talked?
struck a
Yeah.
chord for
Yeah.
you?
The aha moment was, oh gosh. The aha moment. Oh, you know what
Doing-
who you talking to?
I'm sorry, that's Joshua. I'm gonna lock the door next time.
No, you can't lock the door on your son, Kym. It's
Oh,
a new day. We understand. People understand. It's not a biggie. Um, the aha moment was men want to be appreciated. Women want to be loved.
love,
And
that
that's
was a
so
good one.
true. So a lot of times we're putting what we want onto a man, but he
Yes,
really wants appreciation and
and we
appreciation
should
for who
we
he
should
is and
definitely
what he
know that.
yeah, that was a big and also just being authentic and consistent. You know, I love
Authentic.
when
You
authentic,
love what? Hmm.
authentic and consistent and transparent. But I really, really like that. That
Yeah,
I have
that
to
was.
because
You got to
that
do the workbook. You got to do the workbook.
I'm going to do the work, but it also defines the way I speak to a man. We
Oh
talked
yeah.
about this before. When you say to a man, you say the word little. Look at your little
Yes.
jacket. Look at your little script you wrote. Does that make a man feel appreciated when you put little in front of his accomplishment? Because
Yes.
accomplishment, by virtue of the word, means something big, and you put little in front of it. So
I
it's negating. I'm
and
not putting that
again,
on you. I just remember when you said that.
no, I told you that, and I didn't understand that until a man told me that. But we're gonna have to wrap this up because you got me doing something tonight for your friend. Remember?
Oh, that's
Uh,
right. Oh, you got to
yes.
call in and encourage the kids who went to
Encourage
HBCU. But
the.
I just want to
Yeah,
say something. So
exactly.
we're going to end it. Thank you for listening to our podcast. Thank you for supporting us. We sure appreciate it. We got a spike in our numbers, and thank you so much. We ask if you enjoyed the podcast, Two Funny Mamas with Kym Whitley and I, can you go and tell some friends to subscribe and or
Please.
listen to us for free on iTunes or any of the podcast platforms. But we are definitely here on YouTube where you can see us, and we appreciate it. And there were a couple winners of some merchandise, and I wanted to give it out really quickly. And you can I got to find a way to get in touch with you, but you can email Kym and I at twofunnymamas@gmail.com. And why am I telling the email? Just I'm gonna put your names down. So
Why do you
and
want the why are
because
you
we got to figure out.
you want the people to email us?
Well, I'm giving their names, but I don't know how to get in touch with them to
Okay.
let them
Oh,
know that
okay.
they can go get merchandise. Because if I say Kym Whitley, your winner, is somebody else named Jamel gonna say I'm Kym Whitley and call the people. So I'm
Or
trying to.
DM? Or should they DM us or
How,
you?
if I may, ladies, how are
Oh,
you?
hey,
Great to
Chris.
see you. What's going on? Great show. Kym, before I point this out for the merch stuff, real quick, first week that Sherri asked you to take control, you bring somebody on to take over a third of the load. I just wanted to point that out. So, I mean,
Hilarious. Good
Because she
job, right,
don't know how
Chris.
to
Very
take the
funny.
lead.
I'm slick.
So for
I'm slick with mine.
yeah,
for
Sherri's like,
any listener who was
yeah.
saying, why don't you ever let Kym talk? When I do, she lets other people talk.
She grabs a guy. Oh, that made me so happy.
Oh, God, that is
Here's
so funny. I did.
here's what you do if you're a winner. And who are the winners, Sherri?
The first one is Kiana Hill because she said that we're aunties in her head.
And was that from YouTube or Instagram?
That was from YouTube.
So what we're going to do is I'm going to find her. And if there's any issues, Chris at midcoast.media is how she can get a hold of me. But we're going to find her, and you all will never find her if we don't just do it like this. So I got your back, Kiana.
Okay, well then I got 2 more people. Can we find them?
I don't know. Do they sound nice?
Yes, they sound very nice because Kiana Hill is a winner of some merchandise, 2 Funny Mamas merchandise, because she said that Kym and Sherri are aunties in her head, and that just touched my heart. And then Cecilia Cecil said, we talked about when you fantasize about one person or more than one person. And she says, if things aren't going well, I go to plan B. I let my thoughts take over for a while. And I like that. That was Cecilia Cecil.
Was that spelled?
Cecilia, C-E.
No. Was thoughts spelled THOTS?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Not the thought. The thought. Yes. T-O-U. You know how to spell it.
I got it.
Well, my mind is on a run, Chris. And then Crystal Hampton is the last winner. She says she thinks up different ones all the time, whoever works. So it's Kiana Hill.
Great.
It's Cecilia Cecil, and it's Crystal Hampton. You 3 get free. Pick out something from our merchandise store, but you have to email Chris which is CHRIS at midcoast, MID like David, COAST .media, MEDIA, Chris at midcoast.media, to find out about how you can get some merchandise, some free merchandise from 2 Funny Mamas. And I think that's it. Kym, you led this beautifully.
I did good.
You did really well.
You know, it was a lot of fun. I'm emailing your girl, telling her I'm coming on. This was a lot of fun, Sherri. I feel like it was a different kind of podcast for us. We got to listen. We got to learn.
We're going to do 2 more podcasts because people want to know. We're going to do a podcast with the guest on how to start your own business.
Yes.
So we have a sister coming on who has started on business. She's making great money, and she started it by herself. We're also going to have a podcast on we're going to have a guest on who has a very successful podcast. How do you start your own podcast? Because I know many of you listen to us and go, I could do this with my girlfriends or by myself, or I got an idea. We're going to have a guest on to show you how to start your own podcast. If you have any ideas or any thing that you would like to see, just leave it in the comments section. So press the button to subscribe to 2 Funny Mamas. Tell your friends. You can listen to us on iTunes, on all of the podcast platforms, but on YouTube, you can see us. And this is Self-Financed by Kym Whitley and I, and we appreciate your support. And you take it away, Kym.
Absolutely appreciate everyone. Please stay in. Let's try to push this curve back down, and just thank you and be safe. And thank you for supporting 2 Funny Mamas.
Okay, we really need theme music. If that's where we're going to go, we need theme music. Bye, everybody.
Yeah, we do. All right, bye.